2016-2017 Scribbler reception. I'm Mr. Schaefer. I'm the advisor to the Scribbler. And on behalf of the staff, I would like to welcome you to today's reception, where we will unveil this year's magazine. Now, this magazine didn't come together in just 1 week. It took all year to prepare. So I'd like the staff members to stand up as I call their name. First, editor Hannah Markley. Without Hannah, this issue wouldn't be in that box over there, because she keeps me grounded, you know, and we're reading the poems, and she's like, oh, no, I just don't get this one, so she just pushes aside. And it was one of my poems, and I really sort of felt bad, but, you know, she did that 3 or 4 times, and I stopped writing poems. My other staff members, and they're busy at work right now, Kimberly Castillo. Smith. So when you're looking through today's issue, you can say thank you to them. All right, without further ado, I'll call up the winner of the photo artwork contest that made the front cover. And this individual will win $100 for her photo, and that's Miss Jessie Baker. First time that a staff member has won a contest. Okay, but you'll notice you're the first. You're like Neil Armstrong, right? You're the first person on the moon. Now you'll notice on the front cover, this is a great photo from what park?
From Peace Valley Park.
Peace Valley Park, and you'll notice that there's a bird. Now I've done the Scribbler 6 times, and on 3 different occasions, a bird has appeared on the front of the Scribbler. None of them eagles. Congratulations. On the back cover is another excellent photograph by Miss Amaya Bankowski. Now, Amaya's not here, but she also has the distinction of being on 2 consecutive back covers. Last year, she was on the back cover as well, so we'll make sure she gets her award. She won $50 for her photo. And now, as is tradition, we will have the top 3 winning poems read their poem. And the first reader is Mr. Jeremiah Bynum. He will read his poem called The Frozen Forest.
Your laugh is like a game of war in a snowstorm, cold, bitter, and uplifting at the same time. The uproar of the wild winds clash in my mind, whirling and lashing throughout the forest. Vacant and barren, my mind is a frozen forest waiting for spring to come. The phantoms of what once was, forever haunting the forest. Flashes of the past, chilling to the bone. Flashes of what once was, becoming monotone. Of what was the laugh of spring. Of what thing could bring spring back to the forest. The eternal loop of one season, never ending, never ceasing. The cold and lifeless blank slate engulfing the scenery. The potency of lilac fills the wilderness with a sense of bliss. Lilac extrudes through the cracks of bark in the trees. The crackling of wood bursting at the seams. Fiends and phantoms of the forest retreat into the earth. The inert season begins to change. The metamorphosis of the forest. A state of reverse rigor mortis, the dead comes back to life. The drawback of white turns to lush lilac, and the laughter of spring has fallen upon me once again.
really pressed Jeremiah to come to today's ceremony. Aren't we glad he did? Second place goes to Miss Leslie Sosa. And she will read her poem, A Country Where I Was Born.
A country where I was born, my pride doesn't mind. In the army, we're all alike. Numbers and bodies just for one cause. I'll fight for what is right. Sweat, tears, and my own blood will stay my fights. No excuse, no way out. Motivation's what I have left. Liberty and justice for my skin and my people. 4 stars I see day and night. First for my kind, but never the last. Where to go? Left or right? Flying to my freedom, where I might die.
And honorable mention will go to Miss Tahira Gant. That's your phone.
I am one of the faces of the nation, being patient, putting myself out there nice and clear for the people to hear my voice. We rejoice our voices as we march. We get scarred and beat down. That doesn't mean that we are going to give up. Now, I will spread the message that we are more than what you think we are. We will not be clamped in this jar of what you call our reality. We deserve our rights just as much as you do. I serve this country with my life now. I'm the one being told the most you can't do just based on my complexion. Look at your reflection. We are barely different. Correction. To you we are. From the moment you laid eyes on us, I guess it was always tough to respect the fact that we are the same. To you we are strange, and you want us to leave, but were you not the ones that brought us here to do your duties as human beings? I had an education as a man, Alcorn University. Even applied to law school, but you still didn't approve of me. I was shot from the back through my shoulder. My wife was my guardian angel. Came out and trying to get help as fast as possible. My children were crying, Daddy, wake up. Daddy, get up. It took longer than it should have to be treated in the hospital because of the detection of my reflection. I'm hoping things will change instead of the insane rage of the people. I am one of the faces and voices of the nation.
I forgot to mention it's called Because of the Detection of My Reflection, a tribute to Medgar Evers. Congratulations. Getting chills yet? Our next poet will be Miss Savannah Hamby, reading her poem, An Angel Named Angelou.
Sad but true, we lost Angela. She brought light to an otherwise dark life. Always learning more as she grew, giving us knowledge we always knew. Helping others was her plan, never letting others feel alone was her stand. Her childhood wasn't a walk in the park, but she never let that stop her creative spark. Writing and writing helped her cope, almost like the release of a rope. Her voice was silent all those years, yet soon breaking free for all to hear. As happy as she could have been forever and ever, her life was much too soon severed. Forever in our hearts, Marguerite Ann Johnson will be remembered.
Next we'll have Miss Kelsey Lintlesmith read her poem. Choice. You want to read that? Okay, she'll read The Ruins, followed by Endless Love.
I
run away to the devastated remains of the gift you have destroyed. I get drunk from the icy glare of the shadowed moon. I walk on the broken mirrored crystal, the windows of heaven are destroyed. I have visions of the past, light that bears all hope. The memories I once had are now detached from the madness of my brain. The icy glaciers of the moon help calm my spirit. It is filled with anguish and dull satisfaction. The eyes of the heavens, the radiant moon. Ice crystals on the sheer blanket of sadness. I see God-like beings, dark figures descending from heaven. Angels of shield have come. With them, the ancient stardusty light that rains hail over my aching soul. Their strong backs for my protection now. Golden armor, they stand strong and proud. Here in the ruins, they tell the stories of kings and gentlemen, and how with the flame of temptation helped them fall in shame. They were aware that hope was far, radiant hope, desired hope. Here in the ruins, they worship the stars. Here in the ruins, they tell stories of the majesty of war, the casualties of war, and the victories of war, the satisfaction of the kill and the thrill of the fight. In the darkness of the night, I hear the sounds of the tigers that haunt in the night. Sneaky sloths of the night, dark figures creep. As the wishful willow weeps, sadness comes over me. As silver tears run down my cheeks, it freezes with my soul. The icy trenches of my soul give me a chill that sickens me. If death is my kingdom, now take me. Come with me with the dark veil of your velvet nights. Cover me with the dark veil of your velvet nights. Life without you isn't life. My feelings for you have erupted in gold. Love is earned, and you have earned every part of me. My heart is a music box forged in gold. Your heart is the icy tundra, waiting for a light to melt the ice that covers the surface. And no one can say that you didn't deserve it. No one can say that you're less than you are because heaven is in your eyes. Your heart may be covered in ice, but your love has proven to be more than magnificent. Nothing will ever change. No one can ever separate me from you. Our love will survive through the ages and remain endless forever.
Jazz will come and read The Faults of My Heart.
How much do you really know me? Could you tell me the way I feel if you were not me? Do not make assumptions about what you cannot see. The faults of my heart is something you cannot see. I'm nervous of what might happen to me. I reject people so that they cannot see. It is also best not to fall in love with me. I do not know what love really is, but you cannot see. I love her, but she barely knows me. She thinks she knows, but she does not know me. The faults of my heart is something no one can see. I am deeply in love with her, but we cannot be. She does not understand the depths of my love, because the faults of my heart is something that cannot be seen. Adoring, rejecting, caring, hurting, yearning, and heartless. These are all the faults of me, because the faults of my heart is something that cannot be seen.
Now Samaj Nelson will read Muhammad Ali.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. His hands cannot hit what they cannot see. He was not the greatest, but the double greatest. He was Muhammad Ali. He fought for his beliefs, but not for our country. For his denial, he suffered. He had to pay a fee. Not only quick with his hands, also quick on his feet. Took 5 losses, didn't let it stop him. Put an opponent in front of him, he could rock him. Hit him with the left, beat him with the right. He chose the round to put them down in the fight. There he stood, with the gloves in his hands, scars on his face by hitting the man. Offense or defense, passive or violent, Muhammad Ali fought hard until his heartbeat was silent.
Now we'll honor Zoe Trout and her poem called Harriet's Call to Freedom. Okay, you want me to read it? Sure, absolutely. That's what I was going to do. It's a little different for me, since Hannah rejected my poems. That's okay. Harriet's Call to Freedom. I am just a black woman, and I was born a slave. I believe in freedom or death, with no fear of the grave. You can keep your whips and chains, keep your slave name. Don't call me Araminta Ross, call me Harriet Tubman. I know a shortcut across the border, so gather your sons and daughters. This is a call to freedom, no more taking orders. We leave at midnight, we'll move in silence, hide in darkness so master can't find us. Don't be scared, don't be afraid. It's a first-class ticket to freedom, all expenses paid. This life of slavery about to be over, freedom will be yours, no, not something owed to you. So before this vessel embarks, I'll make one last call. Come one, come all. Next stop, freedom. And I'll show you the pictures that were published. We had about the equal number of pictures and poems. So this is truly a literary and arts magazine. Our photo here of footprints on the sand is by our editor, Anna Markley. The ominous owl eyes, drawing by Georgia Werkheiser. The Haunting Moon of Emerson Cedeno. The Tracks That Lead to Nowhere by Angel West. The artwork by Savannah Hamby. Another photo by Hannah Markley of a sunset. We had about 5 sunsets submitted, and we picked over. We kept seeing sunset after sunset after sunset. And finally, another one by Emerson Cedeno of, we called him the Boy in the Woods. Oh, I'm sorry, and Amaya Bankowski has another one. I forgot about her flowers and the buckets. We got them all done, Kim? Okay, now Kim Castillo, a member of our staff, has pulled out random tickets for the raffle prizes, and she and Emerson are going to read the numbers now, so let's get out your tickets and see if you want.
Everyone have their tickets?
I lost mine. That's right here.
What is this? Keep an eye on it right there. This, yeah, so the first one is for a Chick-fil-A gift card. The numbers are 86333302.
All right.
Another Chick-fil-A gift card, 86333306.
Okay, next one is an Xbox gift card. So 86333341.
Xbox gift card. Okay, 86333317.
Okay, and the last Xbox gift card goes to 86333313. 86333313.
Here's another one. Take this one off. Give that one. 16.
Okay, so 863316 instead.
Playing lots of Xbox, Mr. Martin.
Now, iTunes gift card. 86333332.
I guess I'll take that, John.
Another iTunes gift card goes to 86333330.
Another iTunes gift card. 86333305.
Alright, next up is Amazon gift cards. So we have 86333303.
Oh, that's me.
Another Amazon gift card. 86333328.
Alright, the last Amazon gift card goes to 86333329.
Okay, now we have Starbucks gift cards. 86333344.
One more Starbucks gift card goes to 86333315.
Okay, our last gift card from Starbucks, 86333301.
Let me take that trip to the Bucks. You want to stress about donkey no more.
Now, the Scribbler is not without cost. There are inherent expenses, and some of them were the gift cards that you got today. There are about 50 patrons that are listed in the back page of today's Scribbler. Those are the people who make this possible. So, although you may not get a copy of the Scribbler today because you either weren't published or you weren't a patron, you can still buy one for $5. But if you happen to see one of these patrons in the hallway, thank them, because they make the Scribbler possible. We also want to thank Dr. Samuels, who's supported the Scribbler since I started doing this again. I also want to thank Mr. Jeff Smith for his financial support, I want to thank the Young Scholars Club for providing the snacks today. That was more than generous, and we were very thankful of that. And Miss Ann Rorick for helping with publication. Mr. David Christ, who's in our graphics department, for turnaround time. I delivered them on a Monday, and I had them Wednesday or Thursday. So he's better than Staples in his turnaround time. I want to thank my staff. Like I said, if they didn't work as hard as they did on a volunteer basis, this couldn't have happened. I have copies of the Scribbler for all the patrons, so if you're an adult here and you supported us financially, you can get a copy from me, and everybody who's published should have received a copy of the Scribbler. If you would like an additional copy, you can email me at this email address here and request one. There's a limited number, and we'd like to get them out to our patrons first before we begin selling extra copies. I also want to thank my wife for never tiring of the word Scribbler. And I said I had a Scribbler meeting. She goes, okay, I have to do this for the Scribbler. Oh, okay. And I sometimes get tired of hearing myself say Scribbler. And I want to thank you very much for coming, and all the administration for showing up today and supporting us. And have a great weekend. Thank you very much.
Mr. Schaefer, I know all the children will say the same. What do we also say to Mr. Schaefer for really, loving and making the Scribbler happen? So what do we say to him?